Hi everyone, we're live here at the hospital. I know last time you had a hard time hearing people, so we're going to try and talk up, and all of the people, their amazing work here getting ready for the next Spay. So Dr. Krisher, I'm going to start with you and then go back to Dr. Campbell. Did Lesya's procedure go as expected? And
it did. It was totally routine. Everything went smooth. She recovered very well. She's now still in recovery. She's on her feet. She's, getting aware of things again. And yeah, once she's fully recovered, she'll be returned to her family so she can be close to Prada and Taras.
Awesome. And Dr. Campbell, I know we were going to do x-rays and the intake exam. Did you have time for all of that?
Yeah, we did. We got everything done. We took a full hind limb and pelvic x-rays. I haven't had time to review those. Young animals can have some laxity in their joints, which can be very, very normal. So we'll sort of compare our physical exam findings with the radiographic findings, and hopefully things, preliminary look pretty good.
Good.
So,
awesome.
No major issues there. We're going to send out blood work once again. So we'll just have to wait a couple of days for that to come back.
All right. Are you guys ready for round 2 today?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Yep, Stefania's on her way up, and so first Spay day's down, second one, and last one on the table. How are you guys holding up? Good. Good? All right, awesome. Well, Stefania's on her way up, so hey, why we have some downtime, talk about Stefania versus Stefania. We had just talked about kind of, it could go both ways, and
it's kind of a matter of preference with something. Oh, and here she is. With some languages, it really depends on how you're using the name in context, and where you put the emphasis on the syllable, as we say. But here at TWS, we have Stefania.
And Taras, you named him.
Yep,
and what's he named after?
Oh, Taras. What to say about Taras? A number of very famous Ukrainians throughout history have been named Taras. So there's the great Ukrainian poet, Taras Shevchenko. There is a historic figure from an old book, Taras Bulba. He's a Cossack, sort of a nomad warrior. And then I had a dog growing up named Taras.
So that's probably the biggest influence of his name.
So it was very easy, getting used to calling him Taras because he was my little boy in Ukraine for so long.
And do you know why Natalia chose Prada?
I don't.
She just liked the name?
Yeah.
And then Lesya you told us was?
Yep, that's right. Lesya, a very famous Ukrainian poet, Lesya Ukrainka. She's actually on one of the hryvnia bills. It's like a dollar bill. She's a very famous poet, so with, there being war in Ukraine right now and a lot of nationalism, her name was chosen accordingly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So Prada, we'll have to have Natalia reach out and see if she liked the name, if there's meaning, but I love the name. It's perfect for her. She's so yes. Awesome. And Judson, you're over here documenting.
That's correct. Everybody probably sees me buzzing around during these live posts.
So you've seen a lot of Spays and you've seen a lot of tiger Spays, but is this your first lion cub Spay?
This would be correct.
Anything different than the others, or about the same?
It's about the same. Kind of shrink things down a little bit, obviously with the cap being a little bit smaller. But hearing from Dr. Andrew and Dr. Campbell, it sounds like it's about the same procedure.
Yeah, awesome. So this is just the calm before the storm.
Exactly.
And do we remember how much Stefania weighed?
57?
They're trying to go 57 pounds compared to Lesya was
She was 53.
53. So Lesya was 53 pounds and Stefania was 57 pounds. And then Taras, I know he was a lot more. 69. So Taras is outpacing his siblings and growing. So, and Prada's not fair because she's older. So of course she's going to be bigger. She has that going for her. So, well, we're just waiting. They're driving up. Luckily with Stefania, what we were told is when they went to go crate her. They had put one of the crates in the room, and she was actually sleeping in her crate, and Prada was laying on top. So they just had to get Prada off the top, shut the door, and get Stefania up. And no report of what Taras was doing, so I'm assuming he was doing something mischievous as well. But so... yeah, so you can understand what the setup is as we've taken you through. Remember when we did DASH here, we took you through the whole process from crating him to sedating him to recovery. And so you guys remember, it's a long day because the work's not over just because the surgery's over. They're going to be checking on them with recovery, making sure the sutures are good, making sure they're not having any issues. Also with these guys being separated from Taras and Prada while they recover, making sure they're not rubbing their noses or sticking their paws through the shared wall or doing anything that can cause harm. And so Teresa's team is down there giving extra enrichment, setting things up, putting a TV, doing anything that we can keep them stimulated during the recovery period to stay a little calm and mindful busy versus body busy so that we can have good healing. Do I have any questions out there while we're waiting for them to come up with Stefania? They're about to pull up, and usually I'll ask for questions. You'll answer, and then I'll be on to something else. I apologize. That's part of it. I'm going to put my mask on now since cats are coming in, so I'll be a little muffled. So if you're just joining us, this is our second spay of the day. We're spaying Ukraine lion cubs, 2 of the cubs today. Now, as a sanctuary, we do not breed, and that's one reason we spay these cats, but there's a lot of reasons. One is we don't breed, but 2 is, given their unknown genetic lineage, we don't want to perpetuate cats that were bought and sold on the black market for breeding. And then most importantly, we want healthy cats through life. So spaying them before their first cycle can really decrease the chance of mammary cancers. We're removing the uterus and ovaries, so we don't have any risk of uterine cancer or pyometra. So it's going to give these guys a lot healthier life, and luckily then we won't have to rush into emergency surgeries. As you guys remembered, like Scarlet the Clouded Leopard, who's poster child here, not only was she fetal leukemia positive when she came, everything that could go wrong with Scarlet did, and she was not spayed when she came, and she ended up having emergency pyometra surgery. So did little, was it Bestie that had it too? Bestie, the Bengal that we took in, was sick and ended up being an emergency pyo. And now Miss Stefania, the peacemaker of the pride, is here. And everybody's being quiet to make it as calm for her as possible. Oh, now she's... I'm going to go this way. What? She's hunkered in the back. She's laying down. She's actually really calm. They just need to get the crate into a position, because she's laying down, that her rear end isn't against an opening for Elise to get an injection right now. Not sliding enough. She says, I'm calm. Oh, a big, big roar. So most of that reaction is because it's startling to her. She didn't expect to get a poke. The pokes are not nearly as painful as you'd think, but think of it as the act of surprise. When somebody sees a mouse or something they don't expect, how you kind of overreact. But she'll be asleep in 10 minutes again, and then we'll get to see little Stefania. So if you're just joining us again, we're the Wildcat Sanctuary in Sandstone, Minnesota. I just want to say thank you to all the amazing people that made this hospital possible over the last year and a half. What a difference it is to work in this building with all the proper equipment, allowing for educational opportunities, and most importantly, allowing for a full-time veterinary staff with Joy, our CVT and hospital manager, and Dr. Campbell, our full-time veterinarian. The peace of mind of knowing our animals have coverage 7 days a week, and I will tell you they do more than 7 days a week. When we call them or there's an animal in need, they change their schedules, they stay overnight. And Dr. Camper, our volunteer veterinarian, and Abby and Paige and Angie, our volunteer vet techs, it is just so different than when it was 15 years ago, starting up doing things in a garage or on a kitchen table, to have the expert staff we do now to care for our animals and do preventative care, also to do emergency care, and most of all, end-of-life care, to be able to make that is peaceful and stress-free for our animals. So I'm going to just be quiet a little bit here now, just to see if she goes to sleep. Try not to stimulate her. So I'll give you a little tour of the hospital while we wait. Our lab is back here. That's our blood machines. We have dental machines, dental x-ray. We have ultrasound. Ultrasound's over here. All our monitoring equipment. That's the ligature that they use for Spay. It's kind of a vessel sealer. And you can see we didn't use Rescue Bay today. And the reason we didn't use Rescue Bay is because Lloyd is in there. And we want Lloyd to have some peace and quiet. Because Lloyd was the Savannah, remember, that we took in, and had all those lesions in his mouth and throat and needs a recheck within 30 days. And he can get really stressed with a lot of commotion, so we chose to bring them in the side door today to give Lloyd some peace and quiet. So they're in the viewing room today. We're just waiting patiently for her to go to sleep, so I'm trying to be quiet. isn't it? 10 minutes feels long while you're waiting for a kitty to go to sleep. So we have this. She's going down a little slower than Lesya. So they're giving her more time to absorb the drug so we don't stimulate her before she's asleep. So Elise has the stick with her because what she does is she just touches her to see if she gets any reaction. So it's a soft touch, but she's still sitting. So she's just touching her to see if she gets a reaction. Trying to be nice and slow. So she's close, Elise said, that not much resistance when she touched her with the pole, but not 100% asleep yet. So thank you all for waiting with us. You are here in real time. It's a long wait, isn't it, when you're waiting for a kitty to go to sleep? She's down on her side now, so you can see, but that doesn't mean she's completely out. So they're going to undo the strap, check her again, see if there's any reaction. But it looks like she's asleep and ready for her procedure. So what she's doing now is touching her eye and see if there's a palpebral reflex. If she blinks, that's usually the last reflex to go and the last reflex to come back, kind of like an ear twitch. So that tells us if she's fully anesthetized or if she's really light under anesthesia or not, and if it's okay to stimulate her. Which really means stimulating her means picking her up, carrying her out, because you don't want to be chasing anesthesia where you wake them up or before they're fully down, because sometimes you can chase it for a long time and that's not healthy for the cat. So Elise said we're at a little over 10, and she's going to give her a couple more minutes just to make sure. So if you're just joining us again, we're here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Today is Spay Day with Dr. Campbell and visiting vet Dr. Kushner and our vet team. The first spay went really well with Lesya, and Lesya is recovering and will be back down in her room. And Stefania here's next, and we chose to do them together so that they can recover together down in their room. Usually if we have a full-grown adult, they recover by themselves, but we know these cubs have never been separated, and we think they would do more activity separated, trying to get to each other, than to have to recover together at the same time. These are probably the only times you're going to see these cubs sit still, except when they're sound asleep. So the discussion right now is that there's no ear flick, no anything else, but there is a little bit of palpebral, which is kind of a blink when you touch the eye. And so they're just assessing if they should let her go longer or if she just might have that response and it's nothing to worry about and they could get her intubated and on isoflurane gas. What I love about the sanctuary is not only are being very cautious for safety, but they always plan things in a way that is least stressful for the animals, including getting the crates down there, getting them desensitized to crates, doing some training, even the recovery of having two of them together. It's definitely a planned out process here at the sanctuary. So we're just going to look at this beautiful sleeping lioness. I can't believe she fills the whole crate already. Now, if you don't know Stefania's personality, a lot of people know Lesya very well because she's the vocal. She's kind of the complainer of the group. Taras is Taras. What else can you say? Prada is just beautiful in every way. Well, Stefania sometimes doesn't get the attention she deserves because she's such the peacekeeper. Now, just because she's the peacekeeper doesn't mean she doesn't bite and jiggle and wrestle with the rest of them. But she's the one that gives everyone even attention. She's kind of the even keel. She's very beautiful to me. She has a very different look in her eyes than Lesya or Taras. And I don't know, her and Prada tend to be high on my list of hearts, probably because Taras and Lesya have so much support. They all are so unique. There's no two the same, and that's what's amazing, is that they're very individuals. So these are the times that, if we take a cat out, 99.9% of the time, they are asleep, but sometimes stimulation can make them kind of wake up. Not wake up like they're completely coherent and can run around, but they can move and make some muscle tone movements and things like that. But that's something we watch, and at their size, we're not nearly as concerned as if they were a big cat and full grown. Though she seems a little bigger. Let us know if you need help. She's a lot longer than her sister. So even though we got measurements, we're going to reweigh her just to be safe. Oh no, you put on a pound since you're other way. Look at beautiful girl she is. And Lesya Stefania tends to be a little darker like Prada, but as the cubs are together, they're kind of really getting very similar in color coat. And you can see how much her spots are really prevalent, not on the side of her body like Prada, but definitely on her legs. And lions often keep their spots right into adulthood, and they'll start fading. And those spots, as cubs, just like in cougar cubs, even though the spot pattern is different, it's about camouflage in the wild. I know she had that little tag on her, double checking on her right foot. I was going to check to see that little wound that she opened. All right, I can talk in real voice now that she's on isoflurane gas. As you know, now you're part of it. You guys know how long the wait can be It's not something you want to rush because you want to make sure they're at a good place from an anesthesia standpoint before we take them out of the crate and stimulate them, not only for safety but also for stimulating them where they don't get to go fully down. Big, beautiful girl. Well, we appreciate everyone tuning in today. We'll let you know that everything goes well with Stefania too, and that you'll, over the next couple days, get to see them back out recovering together. And then Thursday next week is Prada. And as we mentioned, Taras' vasectomy will be when he's older. We want his testosterone to remain in play for a while. The vasectomy, though, doesn't change it as much as a neuter, but we want his testosterone to stay on board. Or I'm not saying it medically correct, but his testosterone's a hormone growth, and so bone will help with his bone density. So that's why we delay our neuters and vasectomies in our males, but the pros outweigh the cons in spaying the females early, because we know if we can get them spayed before the first cycle, that we can really decrease the risk of mammary cancer. And so that's our goal here. It also, I will tell you, makes it a lot easier on the veterinarians and care staff to spay a small animal versus a 500 or 600 pound animal. And of course, she'll get her paw prints as well and her full intake exam. Well, thank you guys for being part of this special Spay Day for 2 residents. And thank you guys all for your continued support and donations. Again, the rescue is just one, well, this guy's case, the rescue was several months of their life. But in most cases, when we go pick up an animal, the rescue is one day. And we still have years to care for them and to make sure they have the right vet care, the right nutrition, they have a quality of life mentally and physically. So your donations always help us ensure that not just their first day of rescue is important, but every single day of their life is important. So thanks for being with us today, and we'll be sure to give you an update.